Hello everyone. Welcome back to Lovely Lavender Wishes. It's Renee, and I hope you're having a very blessed day. Y'all, I am so excited. Okay, so this is turning out a lot better than I thought it would. So let me take you step by step how I did this. A lot of it I had to do off camera because it was a lot of sewing. And you would have just been bored staring at a screen with nothing. Okay, so this is what we did in our last video. So we have our, let's see, I have my needle here. Okay, so we had our file folder. We enforced it with this. And so I kept it open because what I did, as you can see, is I sewed wavy lines, I guess, for waves on this part. So you can see here, I'll bring this up close. Here's the spine here. And so I did different colors. I did whites, blues, greens, and like a ocean blue. And then as well as the back cover. I've got threads everywhere, y'all. I still got to clean this up. But so I did waves along the side here, waves on the spine. Okay, so I had to do it with this open because my sewing machine would not go through this whole thing. Plus I needed to sew this on. So how I did this, y'all, remember that mesh that we did the other day that we dyed? I let it dry. So here it is, all the little different colors. We've got the aqua blues, ocean blues, some purples. So I had that. And then what I did is I put some glue on it and then just grabbed a bunch of different threads and ribbons and what have you. And I kind of stuck it all on, okay? But it was just there temporarily. Then what I had to do is I had to go in and sew them. Now I brought it to my sewing machine and it got clogged up, like it got so tangled up, it did not work. So I had to clean that, take that off, undo it all, put it all back together. And then, so I had to go in and sew it by hand. So what I did is I did like a wave stitch at the top and kind of through the middle and then kind of down at the bottom. So it's all secure to this piece here. Okay, so I was doing all this by itself, okay? And then what I did is I went in and I made sure everything was where I wanted it, the waves and everything. And then I went in and maybe secured a few other places with some thread to make sure it was all down. So that was the first thing. Then the second thing I did is I added these little, I guess they're little coin beads I had. So if you can see, some of them have, they look like they have like little scales on them, kind of. So I thought these would be perfect. I also added a little pearl. So I'm gonna have gold, copper, and silver throughout this whole journal. It's not gonna just be silver or whatever. I'm gonna have copper accents, gold, all that. So I've been doing some shimmery sprays and things like that as well. So then what I did after I had all this together, while I still had this piece up, I sewed on these little coins. Kind of look like fish scales or mermaid scales, and then I put the little pearl there because, you know, pearls are in oysters. It's a little treasure, so I put a little treasure here. Then I glued down as well as sewed down this mesh to this fabric here. And actually, I think I went through, you can see on some of these, I went through the folder. So this is still not fully attached. It's still kind of hanging on. I did sew along this part so I can move it. I moved it into waves. So I sewed that down. You can see here, I sewed it by hand, just pulling it in and knotted it tight. So see, you can still see it's not fully attached yet. There's some of my sewing on the back of this, you can see. So what I'm going to do is glue it down when I'm ready. And then this whole thing, I'm gonna glue this whole thing down. And then I'm going to sew around the whole thing. So this will be attached on all edges. I might lift this up and just attach this sew this along and then let these hang. Same with up here. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I'm gonna sew around this whole thing. So then this will be the book, okay? Eventually. Okay, we're working on that, so let's see. I also attached this little jewel or little charm. Can't think of the word, y'all. Little charm, because you know all the seahorses, they kind of live among the seaweed and stuff, and that's kind of what this is in my eyes. I don't know. And then so down here, what I'm going to do, and I figured I would just take you along. You can watch. This is going to be just a short little video. I got some of this mesh, and I'm putting this along the bottom. And then I also have these little sequins. And again, this is stuff you have to like sew by hand. I mean, there might be a way you can do it on your sewing machine, but I have no idea how. So I'm gonna sew by hand. And so I'm keeping this part open so I can sew through this. And then eventually all this will be closed and you won't see any of this back here. So you can make it as messy as you want. It's not gonna matter, no one's gonna see it. So what I am doing now is I have my thread and I am just sewing this down, like I'm scrunching it up into kind of like waves to match the match the background and all the wave. And I am just literally just kind of fastening this down so it's going to stay. And I'm like scrunching it up, and let's see, I want it to kind of be all scrunched up. Hopefully, am I on camera, y'all? It's so hard to do this on camera. Okay, let's just do like maybe one or two more. Trying to think how I want this to lay. So I spent most of yesterday dyeing my paper and dyeing my envelopes, paper, my ribbons, my what else? My cheesecloth, anything that needed dyeing, some vellum paper. So my hands were literally bright blue yesterday. But look, I mean, you can still see a little bit, but it all came off. So, you know, as long as it's, you know, not permanent ink, you should be okay. Okay, let me secure this little piece over here. I want some of it to kind of be floating, you know, kind of hanging out and floating in water. So I'm just going to secure just a little piece right there. I'm trying to see. Kind of like this is like the bottom of the ocean. I don't know. I liked all the waves. Okay, so I am going to just secure this. Y'all, I'm not a sewer either, so I'm trying to get it through that. Okay, let's make the loop. And it's gonna get glued and sewn and everything, so it'll be doubly secure. You know, this will all be glued, so that'll hold it down as well. Okay, so now what I want to do, I want to kind of go in and I'm going to attach a bunch of these sequins. I'm going to do a couple at a time because I want them to kind of reflect off each other. Did I get it on there? Yeah. And I'm just going to, so a lot of this is a little tedious, but I love the look you get. So I'm just gonna put them randomly in different places. Oh, and when they drop, I cannot find them. So eventually it'll fall off or it'll get stuck in the seaweed and just kind of hang out there. Oh, they're so, when they hit the light, they're like iridescent and they reflect all the different colors, which I love. Okay, what am I stuck on here? Stuck on something. There we go. And there's the one that I lost. So I'm gonna probably do this on some of my tags, some of my little clusters in here as well. Putting these little sequins throughout and these little charms. Since I have them, let's use them. And again, if you're not looking for these, you probably won't see them, but I like having just little gems in my journal that kind of make it one of a kind. And when the light hits it, you'll definitely see them. And I'm just putting them down with one thread so they kind of stand up and they reflect the light. I don't want them fully down. I want them to kind of be floating there in the water. So we'll just put these throughout. So then what I'm waiting on right now is I'm waiting for all my paper to dry, my envelopes to dry, because I really inked them up, y'all. And I did like coffee splatters and stuff, so it looked like sand on the ground. I think they're looking really cool. I can't wait to show you. Get this in here. And then I gathered a bunch of I went through my room to try to find all the different papers and stuff that I have and things that I can use in the journal. So once I get the papers dry, the next thing I'll do, so y'all know, is I'm gonna go through not all the papers, all my pages for my signatures, but a few of them, like maybe every other one or every couple pages. I'm gonna sew waves on the edges of you know, maybe a third of the pages, I guess. So we have that sewing element on the pages as well. So I'll do that off camera and then I'll show it all to you when I get it all. But right now I gotta let it all dry. The pages are all drying right now. So in the meantime, I've been working on this. So this afternoon, what I'll probably do is once I get this cover done, I will glue all this together and then sew around this. So for those crafting along, this is where we're at right now. We've got a long way to go, but I'm really excited how this part turned out. Usually I don't even do my cover until, there's another little straggler. Usually I don't do my cover until later on when I get the feel of the journal, but this one, the cover kind of came to me right away. I saw somebody do something like this, and I think that's just kind of stuck in my head. I was like, oh, I need to do one like that. And again, I took the idea and I am making it my own and doing my own little things with it. I don't think any of this was on it. I love this material. It looks like it's on like the wavy, sandy bottom. So I didn't even have to paint the do anything to the file folder because it looks like sand behind the waves. I love it. So I just left that as is. Okay, let's do like maybe one down here. Ugh. See, this is like the tedious work, but you know, put on some music and just have fun with it. And I'll do this, like I said, on probably a few of my tags, or maybe on some collage areas on my signature pages. I could put them in like the mesh up here as well. Okay, let's see. That should be good. Okay, so now let's see. It's a big hodgepodge mesh back here, and I'm just gonna kind of put this under all of these. Who is honking out there? Hope it's nobody for me. I'll put it under here. I just keep kind of going through, making knots, making sure it's really secure. And then, like I said, all that'll be glued. Okay, so let me bring this up close and you can see it. Ooh, yes, I can see it in the, see, can y'all see it shimmer? So when it hits the light, just like when these hit the light, and just like when these little threads with like silver or you know, sparkles on the thread hit the light, and then so this is kind of like the bottom of the ocean a little bit. So I am loving this so far. Like, it's really coming together. So here's the front, here's the spine, this will all be sewed, and then here's the back. The back I'm going to probably keep kind of plain because we are going to have that other book in here. So let me show you what I did with the book as well. So here it is painted up. All I did was put different colored paints, 3 different colors. I did like a yellowish, like an ochre, a light brown, and a dark brown. And then I just patted it on with paper towel. Like, just, I painted on the yellow to cover the words, and then I patted with a paper towel. And then over it, I put some Mod Podge. And this is just the first layer. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it like this or if I'm going to cover it with some stuff. But this book will sit in here. I might have, I'm thinking maybe doing some mesh over this or something. I don't know. I'm kicking around so many ideas in my head, y'all. So this will sit in like this. The 2 signatures will go in here. And then if I have some extra space, I might do something here. And then we're gonna make this like the little treasure chest with something in it. Maybe like a pull out separate kind of journal as well. I don't know. I keep, every day, like, I get new ideas and I keep adding more. So I kind of like him kind of hiding back there. But there's the cover, y'all. Oh, I am loving this. And the touch, it's so soft and so tactile. I just love it. So that's what I've gotten so far. So I've grabbed some of, look at this paper, y'all. Like, that is so cool. So I've grabbed some of like these pages, some old vellum that I had. This is like a mesh thing that I might use in there somewhere. Look at this, like, little water kind of iridescent. You can see how it shines. I'm going to use that for something. But then I'm also going to use, let's see, I have this paper, handmade paper. I'm also going to use, let's see, a variety of pages that I did on my jelly plate. This is, again, just the base, and then we gotta, you know, attach them to some other paper. I love this with the copper. Kind of looks like an underwater cavern. But again, this I could use as tags, as pockets, as folders, or what have you. So I just kind of was playing around with my jelly plate. Love this one. So I was literally in ink all day yesterday, y'all. Ink and paint. So yeah, just kind of playing around, learning my jelly plate, you know, having fun with it. So a lot of these I'm going to cut up, and that looks like really underwater. And then got some of my nautical stuff out. And then let me see what else. I grabbed, I'm trying to show y'all all the stuff that I'll be using, or not all of it, but a bunch of it. Okay, so you all can gather your stuff together. Okay, so I had this paper. I got it from, I don't know, Hobby Lobby maybe, on clearance. But look at this, like, mermaid's tail paper. I don't know if I'm going to use this. I'm trying to go more towards a vintage ocean, kind of like these paper stacks, like these browns and like these kind of greens and blues. But then again, I might go darker too in some areas. So, you know, I don't know. It might be a little hodgepodge of stuff, but it'll all come together. So I'm going to use this paper stack that I have. This is the Seashore by Prima. Using that. I had this little stamp. I'm not sure if I'll use it or not. It's a little mermaid stamp. I have all these napkins. Again, not sure if I'll use them all, but we'll use a few on some tags and such. So I've got all these. So as you can see, I'm trying to lean towards more of the muted colors, even though some of it, there's going to be iridescent and, you know, some shiny stuff and things like that throughout. So I've got those. Let me see what else. Just grab some tags I had. Let's see. I had this pack. It's a Bo Bunny pack. It had some of these brown pages in it and this blue page. So I might use a couple things out of here. Oh gosh. So that's what I spent yesterday doing. Sorry, I'm reaching. Balmy Breeze collection I have from Heartfelt Creations. Again, it's more of the muted colors. I love this. Love it. It's like this boat. But again, I have so much. I could probably make like 10 of these journals. But again, this is not very muted colors, so I might do like a variety. You know, we'll go along and we'll see what happens, and it usually all pulls together at the end. So that's what where I'm at so far. So today, what I'm going to do again is probably finish this part up. So I will glue all this together. And then I need to be careful sewing around this. I want to sew this at least to the page. And then I'm going to let this part kind of hang out and be all, you know, frilly there on the edges. And so I'm going to sew around this whole thing. But this is how I'm going to be doing all the pieces inside. Just, you know, hand sewing it like that. Trying to think what else. I guess that's it for now. I'm still trying to decide how I'm going to put a few things together. Once I get all that decided, I will let y'all know and we'll start crafting on that. So again, this is more of an introduction on just really how I'm getting the main book together. And then we'll start putting all the other stuff together in all the different parts. So thanks again for joining me, y'all. I'll see you next time. Happy crafting. Bye, y'all.